This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Crown and Andrews Board Games. Fun for the whole family. And Scoot Airlines. Get out of here with Scoot.
Hello Australia, welcome to another Big Couch. We have got the original Bitchin' team back today. Ted Bull is back, Jen Merrigan and Chris Hilsley. Stay tuned for that one. We've got some fantastic music by India Bradshaw. Stick around for that one. We'll give you another chance of winning a trip thanks to Scoot, anywhere in the world or Singapore. And we've also got a couple of authors come in, or actually one, Dr. Kate Richards, talking about taking the weight off. She's got a brand new book. Talking travel with Steve Collins later on today, and we talk about a brand new local short film that's needing some help and funding. And we talk new ways of building homes with Finney Homes, and the guy's coming in is called Don Finney, and he runs a program called Nightingale Housing. So stick around for that. A very big couch. Hope you can stick around. 619 starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred. In town. Yeah, showtime on the couch.
Hello Australia, hello the world, hello Facebook watchers. This is The Couch. Stick around for the next hour, otherwise you'll miss the best TV made locally here in Australia by local people. India Bradshaw is a very local performer. She's got a friend with her on set performing a beautiful song. It's called A Sweet Song. Here they are.
My mum said people destroy themselves in the end, but this time turns spy back into a friend. Last night I think I said all the right things, but I'm sorry that my mouth talks when it should probably just sing. Softly with your sweet song, and tomorrow I'll be all but gone. Kill me softly with your sweet words, and tomorrow I will say I miss her. Tell me something true. New York City me doesn't like my food. New York City me is far too into Perth Metro U, or maybe just the thought of something new. Leaves an old home, worn before it I have outgrown. Through the cracks on my fingers leaves an old home, worn before it I have outgrown. Through the cracks of my fingers leaves an old home, worn before it I have outgrown. Through the cracks of my fingers leaves an old home, worn before it I have outgrown. And there's no to go back through before it I have outgrown. If you just let my fade, silly little tune. Kill me softly with your sweet song, and tomorrow I will do no wrong. myself fast. Oh, oh.
Time for another bitchin' segment. Let me introduce our bitches for today. Chris Ilsley from 6PR, 882 6PR, Perth tonight. Welcome.
Good evening.
Jen Merrigan from Have a Go News.
Hello.
And the website is?
www.haveagonews.com.au.
Beautifully. And back from his, you know,
travelling.
should we say you've been around
Yeah,
the world,
I have.
haven't you?
Yeah.
Seen
But it's
the
been
Pope and
wonderful.
everything.
Absolutely
I don't know how
great.
he's coped with all these
Ted Bull, by
holidays.
the way, from Curtin FM.
Well, I'm on permanent holidays these days.
Yeah, 6 months, twice a year. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Well, look, it's great to be back. I love getting back home. Love getting back to Perth, Western Australia, Australia. It's just so, we live in the best
If you like
country in the
Australia
world.
so much,
We
how
do.
come you spend so little time in it?
Well, that's so I can go away and be able to compare how good we have it here, Chris.
And also, you know how most TV stars, when they finish, they retire, they go around the world and do pantomime. You've left it a little bit long, but
We're going to see you in London for the
He just
Christmas
does
one.
panty-
Well, how do I break it to you? This is breaking news, folks.
West End.
I have to say, though, I'd love to play the part of one of the ugly sisters, only if you played the other one.
Oh, there has to be a catch. Isn't there 3 of them?
Ta-da!
Oh, there you go. Ted, what's your
Looks like
story
we're
for
a team.
today?
Well, today I'm glad that I'm starting off with probably the most important news story this year, and it comes from India. You may have seen where this rat got into an ATM and devoured something like $25,000 worth of money. Now,
Wow, that's the most expensive pest control I've ever heard of.
And it
not
makes
about
a difference to
money.
it makes a difference to the Commonwealth Bank issues and Westpac
well,
issues.
funny you should mention that
What if the
because
rat's been charged with embezzlement?
well, if this had happened in Australia,
Stealing
this,
as a servant?
this rat would be up on the Royal Commission right now being questioned.
They
And the
would.
question would be asked, Mr. Rat, why were you doing this? And Mr. Rat would say, well, actually, I'm a turncoat from the mob because the mob has been laundering all the money and I went in there to try and clean it out, not clean it up. And in fact, the mob have now accused me of being a dirty rat.
Boom, boom. Little round of applause. Can I say to you, that's a serious story we're talking about, isn't it?
Is it?
$25,000? No, the
it's a very serious story.
$25,000.
I think it was in rupiah though.
Mind you-
Rupee, sorry.
So
Rupee.
it's
Well,
probably
actually, I have
$2.50.
it here. It was 19. I love these stories. These are important. US 19 grand, Australia 25,595.
Now
In
that's-
rupee, just for you, Jen, 1.3 million rupees.
Geez,
Wow.
how many notes did that rat eat?
It
No
looks like
wonder
a
it
mess. Look at
died.
the picture. It looks like a mess.
Well, I remember going to India and the money is filthy.
The rat probably died.
Yeah.
Actually, all money's pretty dirty when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you
It
think
is.
about it, you sort of pay something and then you lick your finger. You don't know where
No,
that
you should
note
wash your
And you
hands
don't
after
think, do
dealing
you? You
with
do
money.
without thinking.
And
Have you ever thought about somebody might have done a couple of lines of cocaine with that 20 that you...
Well, do you know English money? They have traces of cocaine on their money, on just about every
How would you know
pound
that?
note,
Yeah.
and in their water supply.
well, we've got methamphetamines
from
in our
what-
water
Reading
supply.
Have a Go News.
No, I wasn't reading Have a Go News. I was watching Gordon Ramsay doing an anti-cocaine
Oh,
special
wow.
because the use of cocaine in England is so rife that he did this big special, and he even found customers in his restaurants have been using it.
No.
Yeah, and his staff.
Well, I have a very big question to ask you. I hope they were aware of the environment and were using paper straws, not plastic ones.
Well, I reckon.
They were using the notes.
The notes, well, they're
Well, that-
paper.
I
that is
reckon-
environmentally,
Well, it's environmentally friendly.
I reckon the Commonwealth Bank would have brought that rat over here and made sure that some of their money went missing.
Did you think so?
And then they would have made sure the rat got electrocuted so they couldn't be questioned.
True. And you know the future for the rat? The future for the rat, excuse me for saying this, it's rat shit.
Yep. On that note, let's move to Jen Merrigan. Jen, what's your story?
We're talking about the plastic ban is coming.
Oh, this plastic bag crap.
Yeah, the plastic bag.
I
crap.
wouldn't have a
It's
problem with it.
Look, it's such an appeasement of where people, the
But they're
general
not getting rid of
population,
plastic.
are feeling about plastic, and we all know plastic's bad. But there is plastic everywhere.
But-
now, you and I were talking about it beforehand.
We were having a
They're telling us to
conversation.
stop using these.
Exactly.
Dolphins
And who
only...
buys that bloody water anyway?
No,
2,000 times as much as it costs to get it out of the tap.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry, Ted.
Dolphins only ever choke on non-reusable plastic bags. All other plastic bags, isn't that true? It's only those
Oh,
ones.
so we've got selective taste to dolphins.
I'm sure.
Well,
Are you telling me differently here, Jen?
No, I think what happens is people are sick of
You look a
swimming
little
in the
like a
ocean
dolphin then.
and swimming past
Yeah, no,
plastic
no,
bags.
it's-
It's hideous.
But let's be honest, if you're going to get rid of plastic bags, get rid of everything plastic.
Exactly.
Because what gets me
As
is,
of this
My
date,
career would be
you will
over.
no longer be allowed to
plastic surgery would
manufacture
be out of work.
anything from plastic.
do you know
Exactly
what?
right.
Don't you think, right, this is, Woolworths has brought out their plastic bags 2 weeks before the ban.
Yes.
Now, that's to sell bags. It's got
15
nothing to
cents a
do with
bag.
the environment, folks.
Yep.
Now, the other thing, I spoke to one
Which
of
are
our...
plastic.
That's it. The bags, and an expert has come out and actually said that those bags are not biodegradable and there's still going to be a problem in the environment. Well, what I want to know is, why don't they just get rid of all those bags, all the plastic, and don't worry about charging? Why not give your customers those reusable zip-up bags, right? The ones that you buy for $1.
Yep.
Why not give your customers those bags? Now, this is a thought here, Woolworths. Give out 1 million of them. They're going to come back and use them into Woolworths, aren't they? Most of the
And
chances.
Every time they take that bag into Coles or IGA
It's
or
advertising.
Aldi to get some chocolate,
Yes.
they're advertising,
Correct.
aren't they?
So why
Yes.
not give you these bags that last 3 or
Yes.
4 years or 2 years or
And
whatever?
Can I add something
Yep.
else to this? I read one story where this spokesperson for the aged, elderly and infirmed, and I fit into one of those categories, has said this is tough on pensioners because pensioners won't be able to work it out. They won't be able to pay for it. 15 cents are going to kill them. And what he forgot is that my generation actually remembers when plastic bags weren't there.
I
And we'd
remember when
take-
plastic bags weren't there. We used to
We
go
used to have paper bags at
paper
Coles.
bags.
You must have a picture in your upstairs
Mind
attic
you, you want to
that's
hear a
growing
funny
old.
story about the
Well,
paper
she looks
bags?
so
It
young.
actually uses
Thank you,
more
Ted, but
energy
no. It's a
and consumes more energy to make the paper bags
But
than
we,
the plastic.
but we
bags.
used to take, we'd grab a cardboard. I mean, you still do it at Uncle
Do you remember
Dan.
Bunnings does it too? They
yeah,
give
yeah.
you a
I've been
box.
shopping twice this week,
the cardboard
and I've
box.
been offered boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first box was plastic lined.
And you know one thing that really, I love bananas. I have a banana every day, and I love Carnarvon bananas. They're little.
And they're
but,
local.
But they're
Why
all...
are they in the plastic?
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, and another IGA got caught doing that the other day. They had their mangoes individually wrapped in those little foam trays
And-
with glad
and-
wrap
and
over
have you
them.
Do you know
seen
why
that?
they do that? Why they
Keep it
wrap it in the
fresh,
plastic?
probably.
No, to stop the public getting their mitts
Touching.
on the food and potentially
Well,
contaminating
the
it.
next
That's the reason
day, I'll
why.
tell you now, that I know this owner of the IGA shop. The next day, he actually ordered the staff to take them all out of the plastic wrapping in that,
Yeah.
and all that wrapping went into the bin.
It's
crap.
And did you see that picture doing the rounds of the National Geographic with its front cover story about plastic and how it's destroying the world? And the magazine came in a plastic sleeve.
So why the urgency on plastic? Does anyone know why it's been pushed?
Because
because
it's
people
politically
were trying to-
popular.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've been to Bali,
Yeah.
It's-
and you know what it looks like on that ocean. side.
well,
So we
even
think it's a
with
good idea.
rivers.
That's because people are flinging the stuff
Yeah.
So
and
less
instead of
plastic
putting
is
it
a
in the
good
bin.
thing. We just don't
Like-
agree with the way
yeah,
they've
that-
managed
that's
it.
right.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
And this is just about.
I did note
kneecapping
on
people.
that I saw a thing from Coles that they are promising by 2020 that they won't have plastic in any of their
Food?
food,
I saw that.
food wrappings.
The pasta's going to come in glass jars.
Yeah,
and-
all sorts of interesting stuff. So
I don't know. You know what? I personally don't like that idea because to store things in jars takes so much room in your pantry. You
Well,
pictured how much.
It's not only
room-
that.
Yeah.
Once again, we get back to how much energy is it actually going to take to manufacture that.
But they'll charge
And also,
you.
we're
They'll
going to
charge
charge, and let's be honest, I know this is Australia, and I realise that ripping people off is actually considered a national pastime, but we can't continue to afford being ripped off.
Jen,
Because people are going overseas and they're buying stuff and they're going, I'm not going to
Yeah,
pay
you're
rip off
right. You're
prices
right.
anymore.
Unless they're going to start banning that as well.
Well, and all our shops are closing down. All
Yep.
our little shops, all our little shops are closing
Yeah, because
down.
there's not enough
and-
tax incentive, and they're not making any money with all the big supermarkets being allowed to work 24 hours a day.
Yep.
There's no alternative.
And another 8,000 people are going to lose their jobs with Telstra.
Yes.
What do they do for a living?
Well,
I mean,
clearly,
it's okay
Ted, with
to...
Telstra, if you can afford to get rid of 8,000 people and not feel it, you've got a problem.
Mate, they have
Telstra's got a problem
billions in
anyway.
profit.
Telstra's had a problem.
But they won't even
You
feel
know
it.
what happened to customer service?
What?
Telstra took customer service out and shot it.
Yep.
We should be
Now,
I
charging
thought they sent it on a
with
slow
murdering
boat
No,
to
we've
customer
only
India.
got 3 minutes. I want to move to Chris, but just before we do, I heard a little rumour yesterday. You know how Telstra, the big boss, has said they're separating Telstra into two? One is the customer service, the internet, all that sort of thing, and the second one is the infrastructure, and it's going to be two separate companies. And why would they need to be two separate companies, folks?
Because infrastructure in Telstra is disappearing.
Yes, but what are they
It's all
taking
going
on?
to NBN.
NBN is what Telstra will be taking on. There's a little secret deal and say, you heard it here first. That's why they had to split the company into two, so there's no issue with Telstra, there's no competition.
Yeah, but
So
don't forget the
you'll hear
government
that.
bought the infrastructure from
Correct.
Telstra
And now they're
to
giving
start
it
the
back.
NBN.
They're going to give it back because it's costing them too much
Is
money.
it
but
going to help my Telstra shares? I bought 1,000
That's
years
Actually,
ago.
yes, it will do.
Really?
Yeah, oh,
It's
yeah.
your story. I know we need to wrap it up.
By the way, the one you're asking me about, the ABC, according to its former chairman, David Hill, faces a most serious threat of its existence. That probably is the biggest piece of
Now,
BS
this
to
has
come
been
out of
running for a
somebody's
week,
mouth.
hasn't it? The
Mate.
gossip about the
Mate.
ABC being privatised.
So
Is it going to happen, do you reckon?
No. So
No.
some young liberals.
No.
It's the ABC getting
Senate-
back at the Liberal
It's the
Party.
Senate. And here's the other point. If they created a commercial enterprise out of it, they'd have to chop it up into at least 3 parts.
Yeah.
Because no commercial enterprise could own what the ABC
And why
do
would
you
anyone
know,
buy
can I
what the
just
ABC
throw in
does?
one
Yeah, go for it.
thing
You've worked
that
there.
I worked there for 25 years, and I think it's a bargain. I'll tell you why, because there's a bear in there and a chair as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You have worked there a long
Look,
time.
look,
They've got a
I
lot
mean,
more of
I'm
that.
being light-hearted
It's the federal
because it's a joke.
bureaucracy.
Can you,
with
as,
the
as a very
That's what it
loyal
is.
ABC
Yep.
staff member, can you ever see it? And you've been there, you've worked there.
Yep.
Could you ever see it being sold off?
No, it is such, one of the great, I hate the word icon, but it is truly one of the greatest.
And I think Chris said it as well. You've got all the radio, which is
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
You've got the online, you've got the TV side of it.
And I tell you what, the Nationals,
They will
would
never
they
allow it.
suffer
They will
if they
never
did
allow it.
anything with the regional
So
radio?
why do you reckon it's been brought up? Just stirring the pot? Political?
Get back at the Liberal Party for even
Do
having
you reckon
the
there's a
audacity.
plant in the Young Libs?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Let's thank our team. We've got Ted. Thank you coming back, and we'll catch you. Are you back on Curtin FM?
Yeah.
Saturday mornings?
Yeah.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Good,
2
I'm
hours
glad-
of fun and frolics.
With Ted.
He's away for so long, someone rung up and said, "Who are you?"
That's pretty right.
Jen Merrigan, thank you very much. Have a Go News. You've already released your new edition.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll look forward to that. And Chris, back on Monday night on
Indeed.
882
Rating so
6PR.
well too.
Thank you very much for that.
Kicking butt.
And you did well in the last ratings
Yeah.
too. So
Yes, well done.
You're a
Now,
hero,
can I
Chris.
show you guys something? This is something that may actually interest you. You know how TV stations tend to sometimes recycle their commercials? We noticed this ad go to air in Melbourne from one of our crew members that works at Channel 9. Let's have a look at the ad with Jennifer Kite. You all know her. Can we have a look at the ad?
Remember Jennifer?
This is my home. This is the city where I was born. This is where I went to school. This is my footy team.
No one knows Melbourne like Jennifer Kite. Come home to Jen on 10.
Thank you. I hope Sandra Sully knows that. Can I just say to you, they've just poached her from Channel 7 and Jennifer Kite's moved to 10, caused a controversy. Steve Quarterman got fired and all that sort of... Anyway, they brought that ad out. This is brand new, just been released, but it's been done before. Have a look at this one. See if
Channel
you
9
recognise
did
the
it.
guy. No, have a look.
I believe that to be local, you need to live local.
This is my local cinema.
This is my local supermarket. This is my local service station. And this is my favourite restaurant. And just like the couch, they all live right here in Perth. Get local with the couch, 5:30 Sundays on 31.
Come chill on the couch with us.
Yeah, apart from the weight problem there.
But where's the footy team?
I don't know. I didn't. I
I
couldn't.
mean-
You didn't have much loyalty back
How
then.
can you be really
That
local?
ad, I did
Yeah.
that 10 years ago.
Wow.
And isn't it funny how the network 10
Well, they
people...
always watch you.
I know.
Yeah, well, there you
Well,
go.
you couldn't miss me.
Well, you know what they say?
I'm such a big star, if you know what I
Imitation
mean.
is the sincerest form of flattery.
But I just thought I'd show that to people. So people...
Well, you could always send them a bill for the royalties.
Oh, well, yeah. You've
No
tried
guarantee
that once
they'll
before,
pay it.
haven't you? You probably
Been down
forgot
that
that they went back. You remember CBS took them over? Yeah, ain't getting. I've lost all my shares. I'm not going to get anything out of royalties. Thank you very much to our team.
Right.
We'll take a break
Great
and be back after the break. We're talking books. See you then. Did you know that 80% of people who go on diets, 20% are the people who are successful? Wow, that is amazing. Most people fail, I suppose. To talk about that and her brand new book is Dr. Katie Richard. Her brand new book is called Weight Off Your Mind. Dr. Katie, thank you for being on the couch today.
Yes, Frank, thanks very much for having me.
You're very welcome. Those statistics, can you just refresh our memory on that? Is it 80% of people who diet fail? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So there's been a lot of research done on why people fail to lose weight, or once they lose weight, fail to maintain it. And essentially they found that a lot of people don't address the psychological issues that are at the core of their weight problem.
So how does that work? Tell me some of the psychological issues that people seem to have. Because I'm a person that's been overweight for many, many years, and I do fail. So I'm actually very interested in your book.
Yes, so essentially there's a lot of people who have the idea that it's about attitude or motivation or willpower, when in fact it might be things like binge eating disorder.
Yep.
So that's just one of the disorders that is quite prominent. So it is an eating disorder, but unlike anorexia or bulimia and nervosa, it's a disorder in which people compulsively overeat and also engage in binge eating. And it happens on a regular basis. And sometimes people have an additional disorder as well, and it might be an anxiety disorder, it might be a mood disorder like depression, or it might be something else like attention deficit disorder. And all of those disorders fuel not only the urge to eat, but the inability to persevere with a diet and persevere with an exercise schedule.
We're saying there's many reasons why people go off the rails and eat a lot. It's not just because they're hungry or they're craving sugar, etc. There's a lot of psychological issues. Tell me a little bit about your background, Dr. Katie. How have you researched to do all the book, to write the book?
I was quite overweight myself, and I was a binge eater myself. And when I was a bit younger, I went into studying psychology, and when I completed my university degree in psychology, I wasn't quite fulfilled about what I'd learned, and I researched further into addiction, and specifically food addiction, and I found that there was many factors that led to people being overweight and obese, and I researched journals, and I went to conferences, and I eventually even went into doing my own research at the University of Sydney. And
so the point I'm trying to make is that you do know what you're talking about, which is amazing, especially if you're writing a book. And the question I ask you is, who is this book targeted best at?
It's for anyone who wants to lose weight and has struggled. So anyone who binge eats or is overweight or is obese and wants to learn some strategies. So it involves hypnosis, but also other psychological methods. And there's one chapter on diet and one chapter on exercise, and the rest is about mind techniques and also identifying medical causes for weight and eating issues.
Is it written in a very easy way where people can pick up the book and not be lectured to, or is it really stating the obvious sort of thing?
It's not stating the obvious, really. It's step-by-step guide, and it's very easy to read because it's sort of chapter by chapter as to what you need to do and what sort of steps you need to go through.
How long did it take you to write the book, Dr. Katie?
It took me about a year.
Fantastic. And is there another one coming after this one?
There should be another one coming up.
Fantastic. Where can we get this book if we want to buy it? Because I know a lot of people suffer with weight problems, and it sounds like you might be able to help them. Where can they get it from?
It's available from my website at weightoffyourmind.net and also at In-House Publishing.
Yep.
and Booktopia as well.
Thank you very much. Well, I wish you all the best of success with the book. I'm actually going to read it myself because I've had gastric banding and had it removed. I've tried all these different diets and nothing seems to work. And I think the operation is sometimes the most drastic thing to have. So I'm going to read your book and I hope other people do because it might help them.
Yeah, I wish you all the very best with that. I've had quite a few people coming back after gastric surgery and been either unsuccessful or successful initially and then they've rebounded. So all the best with that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Katie. If you're ever in Perth, come in and see us.
I will do.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
And that is the book, of course, Weight Off Your Mind. Dr. Katie Richard is the author. And I do have 5 of these books to give away. We'll give those away on the website as well. It's a pretty hard thing to lose weight, I can tell you that. And there's many reasons why people fail. And this book goes some way to helping you. But when you do lose your weight, you might want to go on a bit of a holiday. And thanks to Scoot, we're giving you a chance. I don't need my sheet. I know all about it. We've got many destinations that Scoot flies to, not just Singapore. We're giving away 5 trips to Singapore and 5 to anywhere in the Scoot network. To win those trips, all you have to do is SMS the code word, which is Scoot. There it is on screen. Scoot. 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 Send your name and address with that. You can send it on SMS to 0439 929 929, or you can send it by email to scoot@thecouch.com.au. We don't care how you do it. The last 2 winners have been in over east, so don't say to me, oh, we're in Melbourne, we'll never win. You will. Last week was Brisbane. I can't remember who the other person was, but that's how easy it is. Thanks to Scoot, you'll get a seat, you'll get some food, you'll get your luggage, and you'll get to do something completely different. Fly the Dreamliner, which is beautiful, luxurious, and very comfortable. So what are you waiting for? Do something different. Fly Scoot. And thank you very much to Scoot for supporting us with this competition. As always, we do appreciate it. Time now to talk ballet. You can see why I'm not doing it. I would never be able to be a ballet dancer, but Nisha might be able to. She's got some great guests. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Fred. It's always so pleasing to have rising young stars on the couch. And today I have 2 particularly, well, rising stars from Pevnev Ballet Academy. I'd like to welcome Jasmine and Sergey to the couch.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be talking about, Jasmine, an upcoming large, exciting move that you have to St. Petersburg. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, A, how you got into ballet and the exciting news that you have to share with us.
Yeah, I started ballet when I was 4. Well, I started dancing when I was 4, and then as I got older, because I'm 15 now, I gravitated more towards ballet and just developed a real love and passion for it. And I met Sergey and Fiona, and they at Pevnev Ballet Academy, and they opened my mind to the Vaganova method, and I was like, that's my dream, to get to Vaganova Ballet Academy. And then about a month ago, me and some students from Pevnev Ballet Academy and Sergey went to St. Petersburg to participate in 10 days of intensive classes there and audition. And I was lucky enough to be accepted into the school for this year. So
congratulations. And this is the first time in, is it 25 years, Sergey, that a Western Australian ballerina has been accepted into the program?
That's right. Just very, very close to this, how you call this period of time, 25 years. Yeah, I'm so excited for Jasmine and actually for the all local communities, dance communities, because it's great news. It's one of the best schools in the world, and to get that far, thank you for being such a humble and hardworking student. Thank you.
And it is a lot of hard work, isn't it? Because you're a student here at SIDE, and so you, as well as doing ballet the whole week, you also study. Tell us about your routine.
Yeah, so I'll normally go to ballet at 9:30 or 9 o'clock, and we'll do conditioning classes for an hour and a half, then 2 hours ballet class, then lunch, and then another 2 hours of either contemporary repertoire, point, character classes, acting classes, and then I'll go, finish at 3:45, so they're about 2 hours as well, and then just do studies till about 7:30 maybe, and yeah. Wake up and do it all again.
So that great sense of discipline, but then complementary as well, a great school. So tell us a bit about the academy and the classes you provide.
Academy, I provide full-time training after-school training, and mostly I work with, spend majority of my energy for full-time kids and students. And obviously training is very, very intense, but they look good. They not look worn out, and which is make me hope that we're working in the right direction, especially when hitting the good school in Russia.
Wonderful. And tell us about the particular method, because I can't pronounce it appropriately, so maybe you can. Tell us about the method that Jasmine's been learning and will be doing in Russia.
It's a Vaganova method, Russian method, been created by a Russian dancer, then teacher. She accumulates French and Italian school, simplified and creating the method which for nowadays creating amazing dancers, and they all Russian obviously, and they all dancing around the world. And I think now Jasmine will join the these Russian stars in few years, and one day we go visit here in St. Petersburg
Sergey,
or anywhere in the world.
Can I, sorry Nisha to interrupt, only because I'm interested in maybe coming to your academy. Tell me, what do you look for? What do people need to have to be able to come to the academy?
That's a good question.
That's why I thought of it.
First of all is the head. On the shoulders.
They need to have a head? I mean, the mentality to want to do it. Yeah, I get
yes.
what you
I
mean.
mean, the dream.
It's a hard job, isn't it? It's a
you
hard
have to
thing.
have something to strive, because if you want to reach the top, you have to love it so much.
So what does this young lady, Jasmine, how hard was it for you, Jasmine? Was it easy? Was it just, I just did what I normally do, or was it really hard?
Oh, well, it's different with ballet because it is so hard and there's so much discipline involved, but when you love it so much and like you have such amazing teachers like Sergey and Fiona, it's such an enjoyable, hard work. So everyone always says like, oh, you must be so tired or worn out, but it's so enjoyable.
You love what you do,
Yes.
you don't think of it that way.
No.
And it's just because I know you are a side student, you come to here, and I know that you finish at about 3:25 or something every day doing your ballet, is that right?
3:45.
3:45, then you go and do how many hours of schooling?
It depends, but normally try and do 4 each subject. So
So
about
when do you watch Neighbours and Home and Away and Master Chef, or you just don't watch that rubbish?
Oh no, yeah.
What's your favourite TV show?
Oh, I don't
Go on.
know.
Housewives?
Dance
or-
Mums.
Dance Mums. So you do still live a normal life as a normal kid, because how old are you?
15.
Oh, wow. Look, obviously, I can still do it then.
Yeah.
But it's just very interesting because I thought, young people out there are watching this and say, but she's been dancing since she was 2. But you're only 15, folks, and she's going to make it. She's going to represent Australia. And Sergey, the academy is amazing. Can people apply to come to the academy, or do they have to be in a certain school?
Of course, anyone can apply for the school.
Beautiful.
And we open door for everyone who love dancing. Please come.
Nisha and I might come in. What do you reckon, Nisha?
I think I'm a bit past my use by date for starting dancing, but
Well,
I
if you're
certainly
past
would
it,
come
I'm gone.
I would come and watch a show, Jasmine Henry. I can just see that now up on Broadway. And then we can say we've met Jasmine. I've also met her teacher as well. Look, it's always lovely hearing these exciting stories, and it's great, Fred, touching on what it actually looks like from a discipline perspective, because that also is very commendable, and I think going to be a great paved way. I've met your beautiful family as well, so we can certainly see where you're product of a great family and upbringing. So, Sergey, exceptional. You're in Booragoon. Can you tell everyone at home how to find out more about the academy?
Oh, definitely. So please visit us, start online, find it online at pevnivballetacademy.com.au, and it's the first click, and then you can find us, call or message, and then we'll be happy to answer all your questions.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for both coming on the couch. And Jasmine, all the best for your trip towards the end of August over to St. Petersburg. Keep a live blog. I meant that. I think that'll be awesome for everyone here to be able to follow your journey. But we'll look forward to perhaps having you guys back on the couch again when you're free or back in the country.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. It's a big privilege.
It's been delightful.
Thank you very
Such
much.
good energy from both of you on the couch. It's lovely. Really nice to see people passionate about what they're doing. That's really beautiful. Now, of course, if you've missed any of that, you can come to thecouch.com.au, our Facebook page as well. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha. Sergey, maybe you can stick around in the break because I want to do that thing. You know that thing when ballerinas throw themselves and the person has to catch them?
Okay.
You can fight amongst yourself who wants to catch me. Is that a hard thing?
Will you catch me?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon you have probably more chance of not breaking your back if you come towards me. I can catch both of you probably.
I guess the best is jump on the soul.
Do you ever have to pick up a lot of heavy people?
In my lifetime, I had a good experience.
I'm coming to Burragoo next week. Can't wait. Fantastic academy. Well done, Jasmine. We're very proud of you, especially being part of SIDE where we work from. Well done, and we look forward to hearing about you big time.
Thank you.
Good done.
Thank you very much.
And other kids can always want to be considering their future as well. Ballet might be for you. We'll take a break and we'll talk about ballet after the break, or in the break with Sergey. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to the couch. It's time to take a destination to where I've been before, but not enough times. Vietnam is a beautiful place. Steve Collins is back to talk travel.
Yes,
Welcome
hello,
back.
Fred.
Did you have a good time when you went? You went to Vietnam and Cambodia.
Yeah, we had the best time because I took my wife this time on one of the.
And you still had a good time.
Yeah, no, she loved it. We didn't want to come back.
I know. I saw the photos.
Yeah, that was favourite because Vietnam is not only a great destination, but it's really, really cheap as well. So it doesn't hit the hip pocket all that well.
You know, I went many years ago and we made the mistake. We went for 21 days, 3 of us went, and we stayed in Ho Chi Minh City, but we were booked and paid and everything. And then we left for 3 days and went up to Nha Trang, and that was beautiful. So next time I do Vietnam, I'm just going to book 5 days in Ho Chi Minh and then move on from there. Because I know you went up to Hanoi.
What I'm going to talk about today is North Vietnam because, first of all, we flew into Hanoi. Which is the capital city, but we were only there a very, very short time because we went out to Sapa. Now, Sapa is 350 kilometres northwest of Hanoi, and the best way to get there is to take an overnight train, which is pretty comfortable. There it is. There's a train there, and the cabin was good. You have soft carriages, and you got 4 berths. We shared a Vietnamese couple, but they were really, really nice. And then you get up there, it's overnight, you leave at about 9 o'clock at night, get in at about 5, 6 a.m. the next morning. Then there's an hour's drive to this Sapa where we are now. This is a place called Cat Cat Village, and you will trek everywhere. And we saw the sign of Cat Cat Village and it said 870 metres. Was it? That's not far, but it's right down steep, down all these stairs. But when you get there, this is what you find down there in the village. This wonderful, that's a wonderful little waterfall, and those little walkways there for fishing. And there's a much bigger waterfall just down there.
Why is the water dirty?
It's not dirty. It's running water. That's what it is. Okay. It's just sediment. That's all it is. There are a couple of the Hmong women. They're the local tribes people. And they do all this artwork. Look at that house. That's a fantastic. Look at all the. I love all the plants, the hanging plants on it.
You're paying $5 million for that.
Exactly
sort of house.
Right. There's my beautiful wife Heather on this rickety old bridge. She was pretty keen to get across there. I think.
Hold out.
And this is a trek I did because Heather was crook, and I went to this valley where they have all these reticulating farms and rice and such. Really, really beautiful.
Have they become really modern since, obviously after the war?
Vietnam basically is modern. When you get
really
up here,
nice.
it's much more traditional because they have these smaller ethnic groups, minority groups. They call
I like that.
It's all backbreaking work. And there's a couple of women from another Hmong tribe. There's about 5 different tribes up there, and that's in Sapa. Oh, that's the Chinese border. That's in Chao Lai. Which is right on the border with China.
You can see the difference, can't you?
Well, you can.
You go from primitive to modern.
Well, no, Lai Chao. I'm sorry, that's the name of the town. That's very modern. But when you get down on the train, it's about an hour up this really curvy mountain road, and you get to Sapa. And when we got there, we had this hotel which is said to have great views. But the trouble is, they get heavy fog up there for 173 days a year, and we were there for one of those days, and it was only our second day that we saw any view at all.
So if someone was planning a trip to North Vietnam, why would they do it? What would they expect to see?
Well, look,
why is it different?
Well, for a start, it's really, really beautiful countryside. It's very, very scenic.
It is a lot more laid back than the cities. I'll show you Hanoi in a minute, but it's just beautiful. You've got to be a bit fit to do the trekking because you can't go a lot of these places
fit or
by
fat?
Fit.
Oh well, goodbye.
Yeah, I had problems going to this Cat village because it was 870 metres downhill, these small stairs, and because Perth doesn't have a lot of hills, and we don't get to exercise those muscles. Walked up. It's easier walking up than it is walking down. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. But it was really worth it. And on the second day, I did that other hike, and it was just beautiful going to these little farms and stuff, traditional farms.
Did they have good accommodation? Because people going there for all their primitive.
Look, now you can do homestays and stuff like that if you wish. But no, we stayed in a pretty decent hotel. It was very comfortable. The food was
expensive, Steve? Or
no, it's all cheap. It's very, very cheap. We paid. When we got back to Hanoi, we got the train back to Hanoi. We paid, and because we're there for our 40th wedding anniversary, I got the honeymoon suite, and it was a honeymoon suite. It wasn't, $60 for the night, and it was fantastic. So Hanoi is the capital, and Hanoi is it's a bustling city. It's a really exciting city. This is Hanoi here. The traffic here is just immense because this is in the old quarter and this is all very, very narrow streets and it's a bit difficult to work out where you are. But gosh, it's exciting and there's that many restaurants here. I did a fabulous food walking tour which took us to 6 restaurants which each had different specialities. And it was just... The food there is wonderful. It's so they just fix things on the street, and these are just the normal street stalls that you find up there. And the people are really, really friendly. It's very, very cheap. It's just a great place to go. I don't know what that's a fashion statement. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I couldn't do it because I don't have enough fringe, unfortunately, but I would have copied it if I could have. And you see these ladies. This is called Beer Street, and this is incredible because all these things there, you sit out on the street and you drink beer. Oh, this lady is making wrappers. No, she's making spring roll wrappers, and I did a cooking class later on and made them. They're actually pretty easy to make. They look difficult, but yeah, we ended up in Beer Street, and what you do is you take a bench outside a restaurant, and we were sitting there having our meal, and then the owner said, "Quick, quick, quick, move!" And they're not allowed to do that. So the cops are coming, so they move you inside and they take all the tables and chairs off the street and they wait for the cops to go.
Oh, it's illegal to be out there.
That was Good Friday. And as soon as they go, they put you all back outside there again. Someone says, "Quick, quick, quick!" And
must be illegal.
Come on back. So, it was hilarious.
It is
But
funny.
Hanoi was, I loved Hanoi. It's just terrific.
Do you know that
Quite
the
a
funny
pretty
thing
city.
is, nobody would know about these places if it wasn't for people like you.
Yeah.
Because even when I went to Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, I know we're sort of running out of time, but we could probably extend this for a couple of minutes. That should be okay. But when we went, we only knew Vietnam. We didn't get a lot of information.
No.
Now you just got to look for it. Hanoi is the north,
Yeah,
Ho Chi Minh's the bottom.
Yeah, there's a vast difference between both these cities because when you get down south to Ho Chi Minh, that is the economic capital of Vietnam. It's a far richer city. When you get up to Hanoi, that's the political capital. Look, I love them both. Every city we went to, and I'll talk about some of the other places at a later date, but every city we went to was entirely different. And that's what I loved about Vietnam. Very easy to travel through the country. You can take a train. We flew from Hanoi to Hue, which was the ancient capital. And look, the flights cost us an average of about $60 each. It is a really cheap destination.
Incredible.
The food is... For our 40th wedding anniversary, we went to a really, really good restaurant and it cost us less than $100. And we were drinking all the courses and the wine and stuff like that. It really is. It's a great destination for Australians. The people are very, very friendly. We felt safe at all times. And it's easy to get around.
And you know what? Vietnamese food is so much fresher
and
healthier for you than Chinese. They're all deep fried.
The thing I love about it is they use all these fresh herbs, a lot of herbs we just don't get here, and they use them, and it's just aromatic food. It's not hot food. They don't use a lot of chili, or sometimes they do, but it's not chili hot. It's just, the food is just so fresh. And You don't eat a lot of it at any single time. They eat something like 6 times a day, but they eat small meals.
Tell us again where you've just taken us. What are the
Well, we went to Sapa, which is in the mountains.
SAPA?
SAPA, yeah. A beautiful area. And then we went to Hanoi, which is the capital city, and it's an amazing place. There is so much to do there.
Wonderful.
We walked everywhere because it's a very, very walkable place.
You told me you lost a bit of weight.
Yeah, we were averaging 17,000 steps a day, and we'd just stop and have a coffee or a drink or something like that.
Fabulous destination.
Yeah.
Steve, what's your website if people want more information?
Steve Collins, travelcorrespondent.com. There we go.
Fantastic. Do you know where you're taking us in a couple of weeks?
I might take you to Cambodia in a couple of weeks because
Sounds
you're going to love that. My son's decided to go there for his birthday.
I want to know about that cruise that you can do in Cambodia.
Oh, okay.
But there's a cruise there that's...
Oh, no, there's a cruise down south that touches and goes to Sihanouk.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's Steve Collins, Talking Travel. Catch up on his website or ours. And we're always welcoming your feedback as well. If you want Steve to go somewhere, you pay for it, you'll go there.
A lot of people tell me where to go.
I bet they do. We'll take a break and come back and talk about some affordable housing, which is community-based. The Finney Group are doing it, so we'll talk to Nisha next. Well done. Welcome back to the couch. Time now to talk about an amazing project. Nightingale Housing is a fantastic housing project which is coming to Perth, and it's very exciting. And to talk to our special guest is our very own Nisha. Over to you.
Thank you, Fred. It's very exciting to have sustainability and business experts on the couch with us, particularly working on a housing project. Welcome to the show, Don.
Thank you very much, Nisha. Happy to be here.
Don, you are the Business Development Manager / Project Manager of the Nightingale Model to Development.
Yep.
So I'm going to get you to talk very shortly to us about the whole approach.
Okay.
But I know that you're in great partnership here with Dimitri. Welcome to the couch.
Thanks.
And you're the Director of Edo Architecture. So you've got all the architects that are working on the project.
Yep, that's right.
Fantastic. How's it been working with Don so far?
Tough. Very
tough.
That's been great. Good.
Wonderful. Well, tell us a bit about the Nightingale model because it is quite different.
Okay. Yeah. Nightingale is a development model that doesn't purely concern itself with the profit of the project. It actually puts the eventual purchaser of the apartment at the centre. So it engages with them from day one. We invite them to become part of the project by being part of a survey, and the survey is used to help shape the design of the project. Also with Nightingale, we have this triple bottom line accounting system basically where it balances between financial sustainability, ecological sustainability and livability. Okay. So in a nutshell, we are concerned with the end user of the apartment, which is very different to the current development models.
It is a different perspective to take it from, and a big focus on community. So tell us a bit about the design and how that kind of shapes to community.
Well, basically what we do is we discuss with the purchasers whether they want to have like a shared laundry, okay? And with our project here in Fremantle, they all want to do the shared laundry. So basically we've put that on the roof with a garden. So we've got a roof deck with a productive garden and also just a normal sort of garden. We're putting a bit of a play area for children or potential children as far as that goes. And from what's happening in Melbourne, people are meeting up up at the laundry having conversations, and it's just really great,
Fantastic. This is what happens on Friends and Seinfeld and all of our popular shows as well. People actually meet and talk, which we know is very good for their well-being as well.
That's right.
From a design perspective with architects, how much work has really gone into ensuring that the apartments are really livable, as Don has mentioned?
A lot of work, but I think it's something that we all want to do, and it's something that comes naturally in terms of motivation behind designing an apartment. So it's not something that's put us out of our comfort zone, but it's great to be able to look at apartment living particularly, which is usually driven by the motivations of the developer or the investor, which is really about turning over as much as you can in terms of profitability and looking at it more in terms of what is it going to be like to live there for the people who are going to move into these apartments, and not just about the people in the apartments but the whole community. So it doesn't sit as an island, it's really part of a community, and that's how you have to think about these apartment developments.
And I understand that they're owner-occupier, so I guess in every sort of vein of the organisation of this project, you've really thought carefully about making sure it's sustainable. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, the sustainability is extremely important because it actually impacts on your living costs. And so Nightingale generally has a minimum rating of about 7.5 stars, or a NatHERS rating of 7.5 stars for their projects, which reduces the energy costs and running costs of your apartment. So what we've done with our Fremantle project, we've actually exceeded that level. We're averaging about 9.5 stars for our project.
Fantastic.
So basically, we think the maximum heating and cooling costs for your apartment will be about $85 a year. So we've really tried to make it as affordable as possible in that respect.
Fantastic. And Melbourne is one of the cities that has really taken to the Nightingale model. Tell us about some of the feedback or testimonials from people who are, I guess, bought into the project.
Well, we've only had positive comments from those people. They like the community, because all the Nightingale projects have a commercial aspect on the ground floor that the general community can access also, plus the people in the apartments. So you're not actually walking into a lobby and disappearing for the rest of the day or the night. You can actually meet some friends, have a conversation and have a good time. So the feedback from Melbourne is everyone's really enjoying living in that sort of model.
Jeremy was just telling me recently the guys started it over there that they've got a little WhatsApp group with all the dog owners, and so if you can't get home to walk Fido, then you can just put it out there and one of the other owners can come and do it. It's that sort of community stuff, which is really nice.
Because not everyone has friends or family if they've moved to a city, so this is a great way. Look, I think it's such a socially responsible approach and certainly meaningful that both of you professionally have got involved. Would love to talk more about it, but unfortunately we're sort of wrapping up with time.
Not a problem.
Don, could you tell us where we could find out more information?
Yeah, look, if you need more information, just go to nightingalehousing.org and register your interest on the site there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Don and Dimitri, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
And good luck with all the future projects that you're going to be very successful with here in Perth, I'm sure.
Oh, we hope so. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. If you've missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au, our Facebook page. We'll have all the links as well. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha. And it sounds like a fantastic project. And you can get involved as an investor as well, which is great too. I wanted to ask Don, as an investor, do we guarantee our money back?
No, we don't.
Forget it. No, look, there's more detail to it. You can get a great return. So get involved and go to their website. That is it for the show today. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you to all our wonderful crew today. They've done a great job. Thanks to Paris, our floor manager, that keeps telling me what to do and I never listen, which is pretty sad for her. Thanks to our hot air conditioning. But that's it for today. We're going to leave you today with India Bradshaw. The song is called The Key. We'll see you next week on The Couch. Good night, Australia.
But the world turned, and I learned to leave tomorrow and live today. And now I'm okay. Been a while, but I'm okay. Thought I knew the truth, but the truth's not blue. It's a totally brighter kind of view. Still turning, I'm still learning. Life's no ladder, it's a stage, and now I'm okay.
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Crown and Andrews Board Games. Fun for the whole family. And Scoot Airlines. Get out of here with Scoot.